Turns out the limiting factor for me running is my nipples.
Hello, and welcome to episode 33 of the MisanthroPod. I am Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I'm joined by Drummerbot. Say sup.
Sup.
Oh my goodness, he's listening to me now. This is all the power that I will.
Yeah, see, I do as I'm told occasionally.
I appreciate that, thank you. So how are you gentlemen doing today?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you very much. How are you?
Oh. I'm fine, thank you very much. We've got so much to talk about in this fine episode of the MisanthroPod. I'm sure everyone will be titillated and very pleased. So first off, I guess we could probably just talk about how crazy the channel's been, because we did kind of touch upon that last podcast.
Yeah.
But it's gotten so much crazier this time.
Yeah, I've been following your, you can get like YouTube stat sites. I don't know which one I've been on. I just typed in YouTube stats and looked at the first one. But like
Social Blade, by any chance?
Social Blade's pretty
I
popular.
literally didn't look at what it was.
Did you look at the stats either? Or?
I looked at the stats. They're the interesting bits.
Okay, that's fair.
But like, pretty much since the last time we spoke about this 2 weeks ago, you've basically doubled your subscriber count, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nearly, and
Which is excellent.
That's amazing, and it's so shocking. And
it might mean more people listen to this though, which is mildly terrifying. So hi, all you new guys.
Yeah, because we did mention it like last time that there's probably new people listening to it, and yeah, I think it's
Maybe
currently
lost all those subscribers for some reason. It was really weird.
No, actually, it's the most listened to of the podcasts. I think at this point.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad everyone's kind of like got a bit of a mental void and just thinks that our podcasts mean anything.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't say that they stayed and listened to the whole thing. It just means that someone clicked on it, listened to it for a bit, and went, "Oh, maybe not."
Someone's parrot was on the keyboard and just accidentally.
Yeah, how much do they have to listen to for it to count as a view?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know. When it comes to YouTube, who fucking knows?
It's different each time, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I'm just glad I can sponge off your success slightly.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, go for it.
You like these two guys, now you have to listen to this idiot as well.
Dude, you are literally the smartest person in this room.
To be fair, that's essentially what we did the other week, because we actually were on someone else's podcast.
We tried to ruin someone else's podcast.
How did it go?
Yeah, we were actually on Adeptus Podcastus with Alexis, Ego Queen Alexis, Tactical Imperialis, 40k Theories, Remlays. Why do they all of them have like two names?
Your channel has two names too.
Yeah, but like not two names for each of us.
No.
I'm not sure that Ego Queen Alexis has two names.
Well, she does, because Ego Queen is like... Well, I guess that's more of her title.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. I think you're getting bogged down in a really minor point here.
I'm just getting confused. But yeah, we're on Adeptus Podcastus, and it was amazing.
Awesome.
And we didn't ruin their podcast. I mean, I don't think we did.
I don't know, we did derail a 40k podcast to talk about Biker Mice from Mars for a while.
Anyone who knows me knows that that's just what I'll do.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the fact that Biker Mice from Mars have only been brought up a couple of times on this podcast is pretty good in like 33 episodes.
Well, it's because it's Snipe's mission to mention it to everyone, but because she's already mentioned it to us, we don't have to go through it again. But as soon as it was like, ooh, new people, excellent.
I like the idea that she goes around like on the streets, knocking on people's doors.
Have you heard the good word?
Have you heard the word of the mice cult of Mars?
Oh, please do
say that. I'm tempted, but no, you say that, I think it's her mission. I've actually been doing that on, like, Reddit.
Nice.
Because someone was like, what's your favourite, like, TV show from as a kid? And I was like, Biker Mice from Mars. And OP was like, who's that? And I went on this massive tirade explaining every little detail about Biker Mice from Mars. And they were like, okay, that's fine.
You could have just linked Wikipedia, but that's fine.
No, I decided to write my own Wikipedia article, apparently.
Christ.
So, were you on the whole episode, or was he just like get a little section of it?
We were on the whole episode.
We were on the whole episode,
Excellent.
yeah.
Oh, nice. my confession is I haven't listened to it yet.
You need to listen to Adeptus Podcasters anyway, because they're awesome. So, I mean, listen to the one with us in it, because, you know, we completely derail everything and ruin things. But that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, if I like that one, I'll probably like the rest of them just because they'll be better.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point, actually.
I can't argue with that, honestly. I can't argue. But actually, there is one other little interesting point that goes along with us having had a bit more attention recently, which is that I made a post on Twitter because I found out that famed Black Library author Aaron Dembski-Bowden has actually seen our video, Rogue Trader video.
The poor bugger.
Oh.
And since he's my favourite Black Library author,
he is fantastic.
I was like, that's pretty good. Because he left a comment saying that that they need to bring the Dino Desk back.
Yes, they need to.
So Dino Desk is canon.
Yes! This is my fucking point. Okay. People me go, it's actually, I think you'll find it's a protonid. And I'm like, bitch. If Aaron Dembski-Bowden is saying it's a Dino Desk, it's a fucking Dino Desk, okay?
But the thing is, I then mentioned it. I then posted it on Twitter, basically saying, the fact that he's commented on it like that gives me warm feelings on my insides, because you don't expect the stuff you make to be seen by people that you enjoy the stuff of.
Yeah. Or in generally people, to be honest.
Well,
it's nice
that's a very good point.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, really. That's some self-deprecating humour for you all.
So I posted that on Twitter, and Alpha Booster actually was going off on a fake tirade about actually it's a protonid, because obviously I complained about it before.
Yeah.
To which Aaron Dembski-Bowden himself responded to that, going, they said it's a Dino Desk, so it is.
I love that, man.
Tyrannid Desk sounds stupid.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it does.
So, if people complain about the Dino Desk thing, we've got an actual Black Library author backing us up. So I'm not saying that you're not right calling it a protonid, but what I'm saying is that we have the moral victory.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
So yeah, that's interesting couple of weeks in that regard, with a lot of attention. Actually, just before we started recording, the channel finally hit 1 million views. So.
Yeah, literally about now-ish.
Which is kind of what I'm sitting here going, it's been filed away in my brain as shit to freak out about later.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I can't register it right now. That doesn't feel real.
Who did you say you were going to dress up as, Matt, when you hit the million views?
Oh, it was 10,000 subscribers.
No, I know there's the Misty thing.
10,000 subscribers.
It wasn't 10,000, it was 100,000 subscribers.
Shit. I know there's that, but I mean, I'm sure you probably at some point said you'd do something silly, right?
Oh my god, it's not the fucking Rogue Trader video at all. It's you saying, oh, we get 100,000 subscribers, I'll dress up as Misty and do a sexy dance. That's why people are subbing.
Oh.
It's because they want to embarrass you.
That's half the reason I've been following the stats, because every time someone else subscribes, that gets more likely.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I think there was something else that I said I'd do at 10,000. It wasn't anywhere near as bad as dressing as Misty and dancing drunkenly.
What's wrong with dressing up as Misty? She's a teen heartthrob for a long time. Or just a heartthrob in general.
I don't think that seeing the mysteriously hairy parts of my body poking out of hot pants and a crop top are going to be enticing for anybody.
If it helps, I could wax the shape of a Pokeball into your chest hair.
Because
that's themed. That's themed. Kind
how
of
about no?
Okay, that's fair.
And also, you wouldn't see it at Misty's top, so.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll chuck a bucket of water on. I'll be Staryu. I'll be a sexy Staryu throwing water on you, going, "Ooh, Misty, I've made you all damp, haven't I?" Because that's how Staryu sounds.
Is that? I don't know what Pokemon
Staryu.
you were watching.
Watching the Japanese version.
One where Staryu was a sex criminal.
He's just helping her out.
Why
you gotta make it weird?
She's 14 or something.
Yeah.
Actually, she's younger than that, isn't she? She's 12.
She was 12 in the 90s, so that's...
Yeah, she's
Okay.
30
No, stop. Stop.
God.
Matthew, explain how that makes it better.
We were all 12
because now
in the 90s.
she's not 12, because now is not the 90s, despite what current fashion suggests.
Oh, God.
But she was then when Staryu would have been spraying her with water.
Well, maybe Staryu was 12.
Yeah, okay, I don't know.
I really can't argue this, and I really don't want to.
This is the hill you want to die on.
This is not the hill I want to die on.
Video games.
Drummer Matt, what have you been doing? Save us from ourselves.
Video games. So, I think I mentioned before that I spent, like, better part of a week downloading GTA 5. Which I bought in a Steam sale approximately 3 years ago, I think.
Shit.
I finally got round to playing it, and I'm not too far in, but I'm just finishing planning the first heist. But I forget how much I enjoy Grand Theft Auto games.
Well, last time I really got my teeth into one was Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one before this one, so...
Yeah, I mean, I thought the ending was a bit weak, but I guess you spend so many hours. I can, and it's kind of... I mean, the decision you had to make really did fuck with me. I was, like, really involved in that. I was like, oh no, should I do X or Y? Because, you know... But then afterwards I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing with, like, the Grand Theft Autos is they're games that, a bit like Elder Scrolls games, you can play the shit out of them and never, ever get even close to the final mission if you're not aiming for it.
Especially the first few. Like, the first few, I don't think I realised at the time that they actually had missions that you could do. I was just running over, like, people dressed in orange robes and setting people on fire with flamethrowers.
Or you run over all those Elvis impersonators and because Elvis has left the building!
Yeah, the first couple of GTAs are really weird.
Yeah.
I remember my brother and I used to play the shit out of the GTA on the PlayStation. I can't remember which one, if it was GTA 1 or 2. But there were the guys in red shirts who would mug you.
Yeah.
So what my brother and I would do is we'd steal a bunch of cars and we'd line them up end to end. And what we do is we'd punch one of them, and then we'd run all the way around, because you could jump, like, over cars.
Yeah.
But if they were all lined up nose to nose, you just kept flying along. So we'd like fly for half a mile and then just sit there and wait for this guy to chase us down. And then what you do is you stand back a little bit, so when he finally landed, you'd punch him again, and he'd go all the way around the fucking end of the car line, and then you'd wait for like 5 minutes for him to come back. We didn't really kill that many people, but, you know, you gotta get creative with it. So yeah, that's kind of what we spend a lot of our time doing.
No, I get that.
Just fun messing around with game mechanics.
Do you remember Mission Pack London?
I hated that.
Wasn't it called like Mission Pack 1 London as well? So it was like the insinuation that we're going to do more of them.
Yeah. Well, I did not like that because I remember it being really hard to find guns.
It makes sense, it's in London.
I know, but this is the thing. Realism does not always equate to good experience. So it was kind of like, yeah, I guess it would be realistic that I can't find weaponry, but at the same time, I want to fucking find a gun.
They really should have named it like, it really should have been like Mission Pack Nottingham or Mission Pack Birmingham. You'd find guns way easier.
Oh yeah, you'd literally be tripping over guns. You go to a bar, you put your beer down on a coaster. Whoa, boom! That coaster is a gun.
It's maybe not quite that bad.
Well,
but it's for England anyway.
Yeah,
they're some of the places where there's a lot more guns.
Yeah. But no, I remember the art being really cool for it.
Yeah, I could never play the London one because I think that was the one where you needed a copy of the main game and then you had to swap the disc over. And because my PlayStation was, let's say, modified to play other forms of games.
I see. So you had the chip so you could play American games.
Yeah, that's right. But
legally imported.
Yes.
But because it was like an early version of that chip, it was like the way it kind of got round the like authentication bit, I think was just like hopped over a bit of code, or I have no idea. But either way, like it meant that I couldn't change discs on my PlayStation, like without turning it off and back on again. So I could so we had the London one, but we just couldn't play it.
Okay.
It was alright faff for Final Fantasy because playing that I had to save it on the last moment on the disc, take my memory card and the game round to a mate's house, just play the transition bit, save it, and then come back home.
Holy shit, dude! How did you get anything done?
You know what? I'm pretty sure that you do just have like an option to save when the disc ends.
Yeah, because it'll come up and go, you should save.
And then you just turn it off and you can put the second disc in and then load from that file.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, dude.
I mean, my mate was like, a few doors down the road. It wasn't exactly... And usually when we went round, I took the whole PlayStation round and we played link up Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Oh, yeah.
Like using the little
dang.
TV in his brother's room, and then he had a TV in his room. Link cable going through the hallway, which his mum tripped over all the time. Oh, those are the days. None of this like LAN party with PCs. It's all about the LAN party PS1s.
Hey, in those days, I was having LAN parties with PCs, you fucking scrub.
See, that was just way too beyond me. I was just like, nope, PlayStation.
I don't think I have ever in real life seen linked up
Oh,
PlayStations.
it was awesome.
I don't think so either, because I remember, I think there was one game I played as a kid that had that capability.
There's a surprising amount that do, actually.
Well-
There's probably loads you played you didn't realise.
Well, maybe, but I remember specifically, like, sitting there with my brother just kind of going, what's this about? And then we were like, so you need, like, do you need another PlayStation? Do you need another TV, like, right next to it? We couldn't quite figure it out.
One of the more interesting ones is when they would get around these issues. Like, I think it was Micro Machines V3.
Oh, when you just, like, you could have the directional buttons and the D-pad, and the other buttons, like the X and the circle and the square,
Yeah.
like those, both of them, like, two people could share one controller.
Yeah, one person would use the D-pad to move their vehicle, and the other person would use the 4 buttons as a D-pad
Yeah.
to move their vehicle.
Yeah.
So you could have...
That's actually what I was trying to say, but my brain is mush, so thank you for,
Yeah.
for doing that.
So
for
it meant
me.
that if you used a multi-tap on a single PlayStation, you could get up to 8 player because of that.
Multi-tap. I've been in the presence of one once.
We had like 4. None of just some of them worked on some games and some worked on other games, and it was completely arbitrary as to which ones were going to be fine.
That sounds... Were they all, like, official, or were they kind
Some
of
of
like
them were
the
official,
knockoffs?
some of them were less official. But you had to have multiple ones because sometimes a game just said no.
Huh.
But it wasn't always to say, like, sometimes a game would work with the official one and then the next day it just wouldn't.
Huh.
Yeah. The PS1 was just a shitbag, I think, but it was excellent at the same time.
To be fair, the sounds of it, like, you had a really bad one with that weird chip that was modified.
true.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem with mine. I mean, like, I never really used multi-tap because I didn't have enough friends in which to use one.
Oh.
That, and, like, everyone else had, like, fucking N64s. Well, no.
Well, I mean, I have, still have 2 brothers, so, like, we immediately needed a multi-tap for all 3 of us to play anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss the days because like you and your brothers aren't too far apart, like age-wise, so you couldn't just go, here's like a fucking controller. You're really helping.
I used to do that with my brothers because I'm 13 years older than my oldest brother.
You abusive prick.
So it'd be like, oh, I'm just sitting there trying to like play Final Fantasy VIII, and it's like, oh, you want to play? Okay, well, I'll likely plug in the other controller,
Into
like
the memory card slot.
yeah, it's the memory card slot. It's not actually plugged in, but like, oh, you're helping me. You're the guardian force I'm summoning. Yeah, that's what you're doing. Yeah.
See, that never worked with my brother because he knew what the fuck was going on, even though he's 6 years younger than me. He was just like, dude, give me the fucking controller.
So I have a story related to this. So it goes off in a ramble, but it gets to a point eventually. So when we were kids and we were growing up, we had 2 cats. And long story short, one of the cats was they were both quite nice, especially for cats, because cats are usually, they just don't give any shits about people at all, and they just do what they want. But these were actually quite nice. Like one of them used to, like, when I was walking home from school, it was like maybe a mile away ish, and it used to meet us like halfway home, and then walk home with us. It was amazing. But
That's actually
like,
really lovely.
it had seen us play. We spent so much, me and my brother's time, in the dining room, which was what we called, but it was like where we had the games console and things. We spent so much time in there sitting playing PlayStation. On multiple occasions, my mum went into the room while we were at school, and the cat was sitting there. The controller was like on the middle of the floor. It was sat staring at the off TV with its paws on the D-pad and the like face buttons on the controller.
Oh.
It was just like, what are you, you weird animal?
It's probably like, duh, I'm Matt. I'm really helping. I can't even fucking do Final Attack Revive because I'm so fucking shit and I'm like 10 years old. Duh. Probably.
Yeah, it was
It's a
adorable.
cat after all. But no, that sounds really sweet.
Actually,
And definitely not a sign that we spent far too long playing PlayStation.
Well, it was probably like, this is what my humans do. Maybe it will summon food. Did your mum bring you snacks when you were playing? Because it might have been trying to summon you. Bring it.
Yeah, maybe. This is how the
This
humans
is the
get
summon food
sustenance.
button.
Yeah.
Like, before we get dangerously close to getting back to the topic of Grand Theft Auto 5,
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
I do one quick thing about the PS1. I wonder, did anyone else ever use the PS1 mouse?
No.
No.
There was a PS1 mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you used it with I think it was Clock Tower.
I don't know. I never had.
Oh, I bet you
Tower.
could have used that with Command and Conquer, because that would have been a
yes,
lot better with a
I believe
mouse.
so.
Because playing it with a controller is just not ideal.
Oh god, I remember because around the time I think I first played something like the PS1 Command and Conquer, I'd already started playing strategy games on PC. So
Yeah,
I was like,
that kinda
wow,
ruins you.
playing strategy games on consoles is the worst. But yeah, no, the mouse. I remember having it and using it for the first Discworld game.
Oh, the Discworld games on PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
Oh, they were so good.
But the problem is that I mean, maybe there was a way of doing this, but at the time I didn't know if there was, but I couldn't increase the sensitivity of it. And so there's like one bit in the first Discworld game where you've got to pickpocket someone like really quick, like take an item out of them and then put an item back or something. You have to do it really quick. And the mouse, I couldn't get it to physically move fast enough to do it because it's like an old like rollerball mouse. So it's, you know,
It's just a shitty mouse with with like a PlayStation adapter.
yeah, and a PlayStation logo on it, and therefore it costs 4 times as much as a regular mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things that I never really knew anyone else that had a PlayStation mouse.
I knew of it, but like, yeah, we had a PCs and we would play first-person shooters and stuff, whatever we could, on the PC. So
To be fair, I don't think the mouse thing worked with first-person shooters at all.
I always associate that with first-person shooters.
Yeah,
but
because there was nothing to move with. You couldn't use control
you're
at
right,
the same
you're
time.
right. You're right, yeah, I'm getting confused. But no, I never had a mouse. I didn't really have any adventure games with my PlayStation. Those were again delegated to the PC, so I had like the longest journey demo that I kept playing over and over again. But my dad wouldn't buy for me because buying games is apparently for idiots. Yeah, he's one
Want to
of those
hear a
morons.
sea shanty?
Would you like to learn a sea shanty? No. But yeah, and fucking Monkey Island had that too. That drove me bananas as a little girl. The red hair. Fuck that red herring. Fuck it. No, I'm not touching that. That bird will peck my hand off. Fuck your hand! I need that red herring, you prick!
Do you know where the phrase?
I've completed it since, but fuck that herring!
Do you know where the red herring term actually comes from?
I don't know. And honestly, it's going to drive me into a rage.
Because I heard about this a couple of weeks back. Now, it's one of those sort of stories where there's multiple different versions of it, of like where specifically it comes from. But the general idea of all the versions of it is that what people would do is take a smoked herring and would use it to confuse like sniffer dogs, because if you dragged it across a trail, then that smell was too much and it would make dogs lose a trail.
Okay, why red?
Because that's the colour they go when they're smoked.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's
cool.
yeah. I mean, the specifics of where the phrase originates, like what book or what author originates it from. That's, if I remember rightly, that's really up in the air. But that's the general idea of where it comes from.
Well, that's cool. That's very cool. I learned something today.
Yeah.
See, and the whole time I was just thinking, the only fish-related idiom I know is "Don't come the raw prawn with me."
And that's not a fish. That's crustacean.
Well, it's vaguely water-based, isn't it?
Prawn's a crustacean, right?
They're crusty, so yeah, why not?
Is like a delicious farmhouse roll a fucking fish as well? Or a crustacean, sorry. This farmhouse loaf is positively fantastic, although I shouldn't really eat shellfish.
Not on a Thursday.
Fuck. We have just been tangenting like motherfuckers. I mean, like, more so
It's
than
fine.
usual.
We've got fuck all to talk about this week. So if we keep doing this, then no one will notice.
It's fine. Okay. Great.
I will actually say something because we mentioned the Discworld PS1 games.
You've been
Yeah.
playing that lately.
Have
You
you?
played it like a month ago.
By a month ago, you mean about 6 months ago?
I've probably at least slept once since then. Maybe.
But no, I have a weird, I have a weird experience with the second Discworld game. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I think I mentioned it on stream before, but
Discworld Noir.
no, Discworld Noir was the third one.
I can't keep up.
That had what's his name? Rob Brydon, the Welsh comedian. He does the voice of the main character in that.
Who's the main character in that? Was it just some
detective.
guy made up?
Like Gumshoe Detective.
Okay.
He's not in the books, to my knowledge. At all.
Yeah, so I was like, what?
He's a made-up character. But yeah, no, the second Discworld game I played on PlayStation. And I don't know if people listening to this have played the Discworld adventure games, because they're all quite old now.
And they're very difficult.
They're very much from that era of adventure games where you can try and figure them out on your own, but Jesus Christ, there's a lot of moon logic going on
yeah.
to get through them. And Discworld 2 is like I played through like the first half of that game with a guide that I printed off from the internet.
Especially nowadays, like with old adventure games, you need a guide open.
Yeah.
You really, because there's so many dead ends you can hit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you've gotten to this point without this, you're fucked. And after spending so much time with something, yeah, just spoiler-free guides. That's what you got to use.
Yeah, and so I was using a guide, and I got to like halfway through the game, but then my guide ran out, and I didn't have access to the guide that I was using at the time. So I didn't have the. I think where I was playing, I didn't have access to the internet. So I was like, you know what? I kind of have now got a grasp of the kind of logic this game is using.
Oh no.
So let's see if I can beat the game from here on my own. And I did, except because the second Discworld game is based. I think if I remember rightly, it's a cross between Reaper Man and Moving Pictures, the overarching story. The two Discworld novels with elements of pyramids and some other stuff in there as well. And I got to the very end, and the game has an epilogue. Like I'd succeeded in, because it's based on Reaper Man, which is where Death basically fucks off and goes on holiday, effectively.
Also, a quick aside: Christopher Lee as the voice of Death for the Discworld like cartoons, fucking genius.
Yeah,
But
it's great.
Proceed.
So you get Death to come back, and at the end, and then it has an epilogue which is based around part of the finale of the novel Moving Pictures. Now, in this epilogue, you can't move around the entire world, because I think the reason why you can brute force that game is because it doesn't seem to have dead man walking syndrome that some adventure games have, where it's possible to fuck yourself. That is until the epilogue, because you can't leave that screen, and the only way to beat that screen is to have the broomstick in your inventory. I did not have the broomstick, so I beat the game, got to the epilogue,
couldn't do a damn thing.
Just couldn't beat it. And I did, and if I remember rightly, the Discworld games took up like a crazy amount of like save space on your memory card, so having multiple saves of it was not tenable. So it was like, well, yeah, I've beaten the game, but I can't beat the game.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Which is just the worst.
That is the worst.
And it's a real shame, because the game is really good. I don't think they're particularly easy to get hold of anymore. Because I think I can't remember if the second one. I know the first one had a PC release, but they're like, get them to run through DOSBox kind of territory.
Yeah.
And even then, they're a bit rough to get running. And
all games are always a bit.
Yeah, the PS1 works fine. Like, the version works fine, but it can be a bit of an arse to find it for a decent price.
You just need you need a good friend who's moving abroad and wants to let you hang on to their games for a bit.
Yes.
Yep, that's what you need. Yep.
The reason I got Discworld 2. I still want to track down the first one. But I remember looking for that a few years back.
Matt's move back and then move away again, and we'll see what we can do.
I'm suggesting that if Matt comes back, he will amass a new PS1 collection.
Yeah, he's magical that way.
Well, to be fair, you have given us a couple of games which you don't remember buying. Like our copy of Beyond Two Souls, you gave us.
We've mentioned this before, I think.
Yeah,
where no one's like, you thought you borrowed it from someone, but no one would take responsibility for it. And there's that game Realm of the Dead, which we played on the channel ages ago, which is like a Western port of a quite obscure Japanese game that's like part of like a long running series, the Neverland series, if I remember.
Well, they just kind of slapped on some really weird crappy CGI zombies.
Oh no, it wasn't that. It was sub-DeviantArt level.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like the cover they'd made for it was terrible.
One of those occasions where you see a cover of something and you go, I could legitimately do better than that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the actual Japanese cover of the game's fucking amazing.
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
Final Fantasy-esque.
And it's one of those. Realm of the Dead is a game that I haven't checked for a while, but I know for a long time there were only 3 videos of that game on YouTube. Ours was one of them.
Yeah.
The other 2 of them had no commentary and were just like an 8 to 10 minute just segment of the game, and that was it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're so obscure.
It's one of the more obscure games we've played on the channel, certainly. But yeah.
Yeah, that... Who knows?
Yeah. So, Grand Theft Auto 5, Matthew.
Yeah, GTA 5. How's that?
Oh yeah, it's quite good.
It's good. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
fine.
enjoying it so far. I haven't played the GTA Online.
I've heard it's full of hackers.
Yeah, well, there's all manner of issues, and there's all news stories about mods being banned or not, or I don't know about any of that. To be honest, I've just played the storyline for the first half an hour of story, so that's about 20 odd hours of actual gameplay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Because that's how GTA works. I just love like it's made by a bunch of Scottish people. It's great.
That's always kind of come through a little bit in the I can't speak for 5 because I've not played much of it, but in the background jokes,
Like in GTA 4, like Fudge Packers Co. and just everything's like an innuendo.
Yeah,
all
all of-
Peace Vasa.
yeah, all of
Yeah,
the names of things are all very. I mean, obviously they're Scottish, but like very British, like British Isles in its humour, for want of a better term.
See, my brain just came up. I'm sure the word twage is used.
Twage.
Twage. You not heard that one?
I've heard the word twage. I don't remember it being in there.
It's
though.
slang for a lady's fufu.
I'm aware. So I know the internet cafe is called Twat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but twage is like
I know,
a slightly
I know.
alternative. It's like twat porridge. Okay. Okay, I realised what I said. Can we move on, please?
You know, actually, so apart from GTA 5, you done anything else, dude?
Not too much. I started watching Game of Thrones, 'cause that's out again this week. And that is all we can say on the matter.
Okay.
All right.
Like, dislike?
Yeah, like, it's just...
Okay.
Yeah, I think they could make a bad episode, and I just love the sort of environment and the setting so much. I think even if it was a bad episode, I'd still like it.
Yeah.
But having said that, it was quite a good episode.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, I mean, it's gotta be. It's the first one coming back after a season, kind of like.
Well, the
off,
first
so they've gotta be.
episode of Thrones does do, in general, it sort of, it doesn't advance the plot too much. It kind of just reminds you where everyone is and just gives you a bit. But yeah, very satisfying.
Oh, good. Good.
Only 2 seasons left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're short seasons as well. It's like 7 episodes this season, 6 next, or something like that.
I mean, to be honest, I did notice that during the last season that it sort of became very apparent that they've realised how much time they have left, because the stories went from kind of plodding along, because there was like 2
Spinning
seasons. Yeah, 2 seasons where they were kind of spinning their wheels and not doing much. And then suddenly everything happened in the last season. Like, I guess it's because they reached the end, like all their storylines caught up with the novels.
Yeah.
So now they're doing their own thing, and it means that they can actually do it at their own pace rather than being restricted by the source material.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think they didn't massively want to overtake the books, but then it got to the point where like, well, we're going to have to do this. But I mean, I think that's fine, because the books, they're so different now. And there's just, they are their own thing. They have the same universe, but they're just their own stories. And it'll probably end a similar way, but they'll go a different way to get there.
Oh,
and I think that's fine.
for sure. Yeah.
Like, I finished the books actually. I got them for Christmas. I checked the other day. I got them for Christmas in 2012, and they're the only books I've read since then. And I finally finished them because I'm just such a slow reader. And then but I finished the ones he's written.
He finished the ones he's released.
Yeah. About like the day on, I finished it on Sunday, and then the new episode came out on Monday. So
Nice.
That's quite a nice symmetry, too.
yeah. Although I have no idea, we had to watch like multiple like recap videos for the TV show, because I was like, so this has happened. It's like, no, that was the books, not the show. I was just like, what?
Yeah, I can imagine having to rewatch at least recap videos, because I can't fucking remember what happened last season. I mean, I remember like everything kind of being really slow, and then everything kind of just happening in a few episodes, and I was like, this is fine.
I remember a very big battle, a very big explosion, and dragons.
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything just in case no one's seen it, but...
Well, I think those terms are vague enough.
Yeah, I think that's
There
fine.
was also a throne in it somewhere.
Yeah.
Thrones.
People were having a bit of a game.
Yeah, Game of
Game
Thrones.
of Thrones,
Game of Thrones.
Game of fucking Thrones, yeah. That was the highlight. Like, yeah, you'd like come around and we'd all watch it together, and then we just all sing the Thrones song.
Do you know the best part about what you just did?
What?
Is that because of the slight delay of Skype, when you sync that up to edit this, those are both going to be so out with each other, it's going to be unbearable to listen to.
So it's going to be like being back in the band again.
Basically.
Oh! Self-burn! What?
Yeah, enjoy editing that.
Yeah. No, my brain isn't working. I've had a filling yesterday,
Ooh.
and yeah, the woman, like, she's good at what she does. I like her, but I think she's fucked up my mouth really hard.
Okay.
That sounds really dodgy.
I feel
but
like you should get a dentist who's good and not nice over one who's nice but not good.
Well, no, this is the thing. She's like the second time I've ever seen her, and this is the second time she's filled the same tooth. The first time she did great. It's on me because I don't know, I wasn't flossing 800 times a day or whatever it is. Outrageous thing.
Floss is bad.
Like, they keep telling me to floss.
Yeah, no, flossing has been proven to be worse for you than doing it.
Oh, God. That's probably why I've got so many problems with my teeth.
Citation needed, and you look it up, but I'm sure it's bad now.
Yeah, I went in and because it was like, I have a filling in the tooth near the bottom, but it was near the top that the decay had spread to somehow. So she's like drilling it all out, and she's leaning on my mouth as I've got my jaw open really wide, and she's like, I could feel her purchasing on my teeth, on my bottom teeth, to really get in there.
Okay,
This was
can I
going
just
on.
pause you just quickly. I'm just going to
Yes.
join approximately at least half of the people listening and just vomiting everywhere right now. Because I cannot deal with stories about teeth.
Okay, it's not that. I didn't feel a thing, honestly. She'd injected me like 3 times in
Oh,
my
that's
gum,
even
so
worse.
I was numb. That was not, okay. I would prefer an injection in my mouth to an injection, I don't know, in like the crooks of my elbows, because fuck it, I don't care about needles. I've had fucking 20 piercings. I don't give a fuck about needles. And like, she was like properly hammering away at my mouth for about half an hour, swinging on my right jaw hinge, basically. I got up and I was really woozy because I'd barely eaten. So I kind of get up and I'm like, thank you very much, and I leave, and I like have to steady myself in the hallway, and I'm like, oh no. And then I was fine. I called Wib up and I was like, dude, I feel really bad. And I'm talking like Sylvester Stallone.
You didn't go to support her.
Fucking £4 on the bus, mate. Do you have any idea?
Exactly.
Like the fucking past couple of weeks we've had with like buying new fridges and shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, so, and then I go back and like my pain medication, my local anesthetic starts wearing off, and usually the worst thing about that is where they've injected the local anesthetic. So the point of the injection will be quite sore.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was in agony with my jaw. I was just like, fuck, I couldn't talk, swallowing hurt, and like, I had to go to bed, and I was just so wrecked, and then I got up again, because I was in a lot of pain, and then I went back to sleep, and it's just because she'd been swinging off my jaw, like, leaning on it. It did really mess with my muscle, and it's still quite sore today, but at least I can fucking talk, and I can kind of eat. But I have to go back tomorrow morning, because she didn't fill my filling up high enough.
Right.
So there's like half of my tooth, like because they're supposed to fill in where they've been gouging out the decay.
Yeah.
Because the more surface area there is, the more places there are for decay to take root.
Yeah.
She didn't fill it up properly, so I've got like all these gouges in the side of my tooth, so I can't eat on it. I can't really do anything, so I'm going in tomorrow to have it redone. That's the 3rd trip to the dentist
This week. Yeah.
Oh.
My fucking 3rd trip to the dentist this week.
That is 3 more than I've had in the last 7 years.
Oh, dude.
My plan is, if I don't go to the dentist, I can't find out that my teeth are bad, and therefore I don't have to go to the dentist because I don't know my teeth are bad.
You see, what's going to happen is it's going to happen with me is I didn't go to the dentist for a while because, like, in my family it was considered shameful that you needed to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
And I was eating ribs one day and I bit down on my left-hand side and it was so painful I just broke down in tears. And I was like, I should probably go to the dentist about this.
Probably.
And I'd left it so long that I needed a root canal.
Oh.
So my first dentist procedure ever, like proper, was a root canal. So I go in, I get that done, and I'm picking shards of, like the back of my tooth comes away. because they hollow it out. And I go in for emergency dentistry. And then they're like, oh, by the way, you might not be able to tell it, because what root canal is, they remove the nerves. They're like, yeah, you've got like an abscess above your root, so we're going to have to remove that tooth. So I go in, and I have my tooth removed. And I come out, and I legitimately look like I'm about to die.
Yeah, you were really fucking rough after that.
I was really fucking unwell, to the point where I couldn't focus on anything, and everything was horrible and dark. And then I went to bed, and I bled everywhere. During my nap, I poured with blood. My pillow was... I woke up, I peeled my face off my pillow, and I had never felt fucking better. I was just like, damn, it's a good day to be alive.
It's like all of the poison that was...
all the poison, all the blood, it just like bled out.
Yeah,
in my sleep.
all of the bad stuff that was in that abscess that you had just poured out.
Just bled out during my nap when I woke up, and I'd never felt fucking better. And it was like... I came down, I was like, oh, Matt, hello. And he was like, the fuck are you doing? Thought you looked like you're about to die. I'm like, I know, I got better.
I'm so glad we spoke about Game of Thrones before this, because there was nothing else we could speak about that even comes close to the horrificness of this conversation.
Oh, it's not that bad. You just built it up a lot in your mind, and I'm going to completely downplay your phobia of dentists because I can.
Like, bleeding over your entire bed.
Yeah, it's funny.
Because
I'm alive.
The thing you've got to remember is that lots of people have a very cannot deal with talk of teeth at all.
Oh.
It's why I was kind of confused why you were going on about it. I'm like, a lot of people just really can't deal with it.
I'd be interested to see the YouTube stats on this. Just everyone stops listening like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, I feel really bad now, because it's like, it's not really a thing for me, because I've had a lot of bad things happen to my teeth, so I'm like, it's fine.
What Matt was saying, that's not uncommon, nor was he joking or making it more than it is.
Okay, anyone else want to tag team in here and make me feel stupid?
No, I'm just saying. It's fine. That means, like, after this point, we can talk shit about, like, is there any YouTubers you want to talk shit about? Because no one's listening now. You're trying to think of the person that it's funny to say about, and also you can get away with, aren't you?
I know who that is, but I kind of wanted to go, the Remlays, and start some fake, like, YouTube beef. Because, like, I can pretend that I'm discriminating against dinosaurs rather than thinking he's a cool dude. But, like, I guess, you know what? Dicko Plays. The fuck is that shit about?
He hasn't updated in, like, a year. What's wrong with him?
I can't... Sorry. I used a very naughty word, and I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't feel anything anymore.
Well,
not about that, anyway.
Not after the dentistry.
Not after the dentistry. I fucking burned out all my nerves in my head. God damn.
I mean, the thing is, like, the whole, like, week full of dentistry followed what we had to deal with last week that was just the biggest pain in the ass. So, yeah, the Sunday... Well, actually, it would have been the Sunday that the last podcast went up.
Yeah.
Our fridge just died.
Because did we mention it on the podcast, or was I just speaking to you in real life? I can't remember. It died, but then it got better after you like put ham in it or something. I can't exactly remember what happened.
Oh yeah. Like a couple of months back, it started to make a lot of noise during the really hot week, and we just assumed that it was just it going into overdrive because of how warm it was. Yeah. And then it turned out that's not really the case, and it had been gaining, huge amounts of ice in the back of the fridge.
And the temperature had gone a bit, like the temperature detector had gone a bit weird.
Yeah, and it is getting louder and louder, and then it just eventually got super loud, and then just stopped working at all. And so we then got we were like, okay, our fridge was relatively expensive when we bought it, so... It's probably cheaper to get this repaired than to buy a new fridge. Well, it would be cheaper to get it repaired than get a fridge of equal quality, or even to buy a cheap fridge.
Yeah.
So, So it's like, okay, well, we'll try and get it repaired.
They take 2 days to come out.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, we've got barely any food.
Because we have to throw out all the food in there.
All our food, which is fucking horrible. And our ration cupboard was quite down.
Yeah.
Because we just hadn't been refilling it, so it's like, oh no. So we had to live off, like, beans and noodles.
It just happened to be one of those times where most of the food we had in the house happened to be fridge or freezer-based food at that point.
Yeah.
So we get rid of all our food. So we're kind of on sort of shitty food until Wednesday when the guy comes around.
The guy comes around.
Who takes one look at it and goes, "Yeah, your fridge is fucked, mate."
You're like, thanks.
What?
Not what he didn't use those words. He basically looked inside it, poked the back of it, went, "Yeah, no, this is unrepairable. Sorry."
Oh.
Yeah, because we went with a company that was like, you have to pay them like £119. They'll come out and they'll see if they can repair it, and if they can't, then they don't charge you.
Yeah. So,
And if they do, they just charge you the rate that they've charged you for coming out and looking at it.
yeah.
Okay.
And this guy was like, nah, can't fix it. So we were like, okay, we'll get the refund back, and then we'll buy a new fridge with it. They took their sweet time. It's like they took like the money out of our account to them goes out immediately, but if we need a refund, that takes days. Fuck capitalism. No one's listening after my dentist story anyway, so I'm gonna fucking curse capitalism to the high heavens if I feel it.
Hey, go for it. It's usually what I do.
I don't think capitalism is very good. Yeah, I said it.
I concur. Put down your coffee mug very loudly.
My red coffee mug.
Your red coffee mug. It's fucking tanky.
Everyone can have a sip of my coffee.
We need to own the means of coffee bean production.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
all coffees are equal, but
so we're like, okay, we've got to buy a fridge, and so we're looking on the website and go, okay,
on the World Wide Web. For those for the uninitiated.
Oh, yeah. And so we're like, okay, so we know the one we'll get when we get the money back. Then on Wednesday, I want to say afternoon, our internet dies.
Yeah. It just stops working.
Because someone had gone to the exchange,
Put their dick in something.
Yeah, presumably to fix someone else's problem, and then just rested their dick on the part that governs our internet connection. So our internet just stops working for several days.
Yeah, and we phone them up and we're like, what's happening? And then like we phone it up like 3 times, and then each time they give us a different answer.
Yeah, because they don't.
And then
know.
No, they're just like, oh, fuck off, go away.
Yeah, so we just had a couple of we had like. Eventually we just we used went on like mobile internet and ordered the fridge that way, but also had to go and download like a bunch of apps to do all the internet banking stuff, which we'd never actually done on the phone. We'd always done it on the computer. So it was like, okay, so this huge faff to do a really simple thing, and then it was like, so we ended up with a few days where we had
next to no food,
and
literal no social interaction.
Oh.
So it was pretty rough.
So it was just a few days of just being the absolute fucking worst.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, I couldn't even... Because, it happened the day... like, the Rocket League video that went up this week was scheduled to go up last week, but literally there was no way of uploading it.
Yeah, we just couldn't do it.
Just physically couldn't. And it was like, oh...
So what did you upload last week?
Nothing.
Didn't
Really?
Well, there was the asking for questions for the Q&A.
But that was like earlier on. But yeah, we couldn't upload a gameplay video last week just because fucking...
So
internet
that's
is not
why
working.
you have finished it early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was wondering what had gone like weirdly right.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's the only reason it was done so early. Because, we had it done the previous week, so...
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was just...
So, the past couple... And that's why we haven't played anything new, because we've been miserable, hungry, and dentistry.
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, since the internet's been back, I have actually been playing more Rocket League, to be honest.
Okay. You enjoying it? It was really nice watching you get excited by something that's almost sport.
It's funny you should say that. We put up the Rocket League video on Wednesday. We got a phone call later on that night from Webb's youngest brother. Matt, his family that are obsessed with football.
Yeah.
And he was like, I saw you played Rocket League. I'm proud.
Oh.
And then he was like, "Hey, what was it like? You go to these videos and you can look at the tips and tricks."
Oh no, he was giving me strats.
He was giving you strategy advice, and it's like, oh,
telling me because like all the cars have different hitboxes apparently. So
It's too much effort for
which
me,
car
I
you
think.
pick actually matters.
Okay.
But yeah, Rocket League's kind of interesting. Like, because when I first installed it, I saw how Steam has news stories on it underneath it for the game. The top story was a story about like, is Rocket League now completely incomprehensible and inaccessible to new players?
well, is it?
Leading with a thing of like because it's a a game that's been out for 2 years now, and it has, it's all multiplayer, that normally games like that are kind of incomprehensible to a new player after so long.
Well, I mean, look how impenetrable something like Overwatch
Oh
is.
god, yeah. The first few weeks of that was just.
I mean, even when because we started playing it like was it a week after launch?
Yeah,
or
well,
something?
I mean, Overwatch,
and that was a bit confusing for us to get our heads around.
Overwatch is not that bad compared to something like TF2 or.
Oh, TF2 is
Actually, I remember the worst one. One of the worst ones I've ever played was Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. Because I played that like 4 or 5 years after that game came out, and it's I would spawn and die within 3 seconds.
Yep.
Like before I'd even turned around to see where the person was that was killing me.
Can you imagine what Counter-Strike's like though?
I have only played Counter-Strike once in my life, and that was enough.
Do a Counter-Strike video.
No.
No. Why? No. Welcome to generic first-person shooter.
I'm sure it's good if you like this kind of thing.
That's the thing. Like, a lot of people I know that do play it really enjoy it, and I think that's great. But at the same time, it's at least 500 years old.
Well, ish, yeah.
CS:GO's not that old now.
Yeah, it's okay. CS:GO's maybe about 75.
75 years. Yeah, I think that's accurate.
That's probably. I have a timeline on this. I'm very well educated when it comes to timelines of video games. But no, can you imagine, like, it's just impossible to get into. Like, COD's fucking, like, I remember playing that not a while ago, like a good few years ago, and that was still really tough.
Yeah, well, it's because that's got such a big multiplayer community.
I mean, I'm not saying I played multiplayer for long, because fucking hell.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, the Rocket League thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Football with the cars.
So yeah, I saw this thing, this story saying, like, is it incomprehensible to a new player? And I'm like, oh, fucking hell.
There's gonna be hats and idols.
And so I play a bit of the game and experience it for myself, and then also read this article itself and find out that both myself and the article kind of agree, which is that actually it's surprisingly accessible still.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you've been playing it and doing okay.
I mean, I guess fundamentally it's just kind of, if you vaguely know what football is, like, you have to get a ball into a goal.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Football in hole, win.
I mean, it does. It is very obvious. Like when you get into a game, you can see exactly how fucked you are by how many bells and whistles your opponent's cars have got on them.
Right.
Because you can see, like, oh well, they've been.
Can you get hats?
Yes.
For cars.
Yes. I have only one hat because I think I'm only like level 9.
Is it the gibbous?
Does the hat go over the whole car, or does it just like perch on top?
I love the idea of it going over the whole car. That sounds amazing.
No, it just sits on the roof itself.
Okay.
I only have one, and it's a boot.
Okay, that's fine.
The really weird thing is there's lots of tie-ins for other video games.
Yeah, I bet.
So, like, one of the first ones that I unlocked was a little, like, dealy bopper style thing that sits on the end of your antenna on your car, and it's the ship from Headlander, of all things.
That's pretty rad, actually.
Yeah.
Headlander is the thing where you play as like a head with jets on it.
Yeah,
and you have to land on things and control them.
Yeah.
Really cute little indie game.
And then I got like an Unreal Tournament flag. And I'm just like, what?
What year is this? Fucking Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they released that one they were going to do.
What, the new Unreal?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, I completely forgot to pay attention to new Unreal.
Yeah, whoops. I'm going to go check that out after.
I don't think it's out yet, but I don't know either.
I do want to play it because I grew up playing Unreal.
Yeah.
Love that game.
But yeah, I've been having quite a bit of fun with Rocket League. It's a really good sort of game to play for like 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you sort of boot it up, have a couple of games, and then not think about it again. Because even though, I mean, I do like that you can just play against bots as well. So if you don't feel like getting completely reamed 50 times in a row by players that have been playing it for 2 years, then you can just play against the bots. Unfortunately, the
was
bots...
that what you were doing when you scored?
No, that was against people.
Oh, nice.
Everything in the video was against people. And I've played a handful of games against bots and a handful of games against people, and I have scored more than one goal against people now.
Nice.
Not many, and I may have been a complete hindrance to my team at every other place. But you know what?
This reminds me of playing football in college. Honestly, I was literally there as a handicap for my team.
Well, you see, the funny thing about I don't know if this is happens in other countries, but the one thing that I noticed about playing football when I was at school was that the idiosyncrasies of specific rules about football, you are treated like some kind of social pariah if you don't know them, even though no one has ever told you them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're a boy, and all boys like football.
Like, I remember one, and this is a rule which I had no idea existed until this happened to me, which was that I was in goal, and I happened to be holding the ball, but my back foot went over the line of the goal, and they're like, "Oh, that's you've just conceded a goal." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, that's not true.
Really?
I don't think that's ever been true.
Drummer Matt would know.
Literally,
he is football.
I think they were just trolling you.
This was everyone on both teams.
Oh.
Well, then they were all fucking wrong. Because
Yeah.
Drummer
Yeah,
Matt
they're
knows
not
football.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it might have been different, like 47,000 years ago when you were a child, but
Fuck you.
Okay.
no, because you're like a year older than me.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, it's always been, but on the ball, and it's the whole ball has to be across the whole of the line. So like the ball can be mostly in the goal, but as long as a bit of the ball is still touching the line, it's still not counted as in the goal.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that I wasn't playing with a bunch of complete arseholes.
Well, yeah,
because I was.
I think that's more likely. I don't know.
Because, I'm just going to go on a limb here and drop some shade. But about 95% of the people I went to school with, bunch of dickheads. I hate them, and if I never see them again, ever, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you had the best time of it.
No.
It's like the whole thing of, you're doing well if you try and look back on school and forget someone's name and you're like, yes, I'm one step closer to forgetting that hell.
Yeah.
No, like, we didn't, I think this is like a cultural thing, but like, at my schools in Australia, we didn't play football, we played rugby.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because it was the only time you were allowed to physically assault other students in front of teachers and completely get away with it. It was great. They also made us do like high jump and long jump and stuff like that. I really liked...
Did he play Aussie rules?
I don't know. Is that where you hurt people?
Yes.
Then yes.
It's somehow different to rugby, but I'm not entirely sure how, but I'm assuming it's more violent.
Knowing me, probably.
And you wear vests instead of like shirts.
Yeah. No, yeah, that I remember that, yeah.
The difference between rugby and Aussie rules football is simply that in one of them, you have to be slightly drunk before you play.
Is that so?
I believe that's
And the players are all called cunts instead of players.
Yeah.
Alright, excuse me, cunt! Ball.
We're going to bring in... Okay, now... Wollongabba is bringing in a substitute
Wollongabba,
cunt.
you fucking stealing all these places from my childhood for your anecdotal bullshit. It makes me feel so weird. God damn it.
I just thought Wollongabba was a funny place name that I remembered.
It's even funnier when you're on the train and they'd be like, Wollongabba, we are stopping at Wollongabba, and you're like, yeah, mate, okay.
Aren't they all old Aboriginal names?
Yes.
All these, like, they sound really weird to us, because they're just, they're just
Well,
all
there's
Aboriginal
Wynnum,
names.
which is where I used to, which is like really funny because it sounds like women, and it was like right next to a place called Manly. So it's like Wynnum Manly, and I thought that was funny.
Manly women.
But yeah, there's like Wollongong, Wollongabba, things like that. Like, all very fun, cool names that they just kept about, which I like.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not as good as, what is it, Toowoomba.
Toowoomba. The joke of Brisbane.
Well, that showed up in a handful of our videos, hasn't it, of using Toowoomba as a joke.
Well, yeah, like, because my dating game profile was always Sheila Toowoomba, which is the most Australian woman who's ever existed, apparently.
I think the last outing for Sheila Toowoomba was Star Trek Online, actually.
It was. Oh my god, it was. Captain Toowoomba. Gonna fuck yous up on my ship-o! Get the goon!
It was the USS Goon bag.
It was the goon bag. Well, the thing is, I'm being very posh because it should be referred to as a goon sack.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I'm being all snobby.
If you were in Bordeaux, it would be the goon pocket.
You fucking what, mate?
Because they call bags here poshers, not sacks. So they call them, like, do you want a little pocket? And you're like, I think that's quite a personal question there, random shopkeeper.
Well, dude, maybe every woman in France, or just maybe every person in France is just irresistibly attracted to you, and that's how they flirt.
Maybe.
They want to ask you if you want to get in their pocket.
Petit
bush.
Oh, God.
Tu peux un petit bush.
Le petit mot.
It's great.
Great. Now we've constructed this narrative where Jerome Matt's moved to France, literally eats nothing but baguettes. His words, not mine.
Yeah.
And every woman and man there wants him in a sexual fashion.
Yeah.
Don't see how that's different to back home.
Okay, you know what? But yeah, you're allowed to stereotype me for a while, just to give the poor French a rest.
Yeah.
Because you guys are mean to the poor French people.
Well, we spend the rest of the time, like, with, like, turbo self-depreciation, which is the British side of it, so, I mean...
No, this is true. British...
Yeah, have we said a positive word about Britain ever in this podcast?
I think we just got done talking about how literally guns are used as coasters in Nottingham because it's like the gun crime capital of the UK.
Yeah, to be fair, Nottingham got a bit better. Like, quite a few years ago it was quite bad, but actually... And, like, none of it is, like, you know, Trump-esque, like, you know, no-go zones or whatever. Actually,
yeah,
all of Britain is fine to walk around, pretty much.
Yeah.
Basically, just to clear up any confusion, when we talk about gun crime in the UK, we're not talking about American gun crime. Christ, no.
We're just talking about there have been at least one crime with a gun
Yeah.
this year, and that's quite high because we just don't get it.
Yeah.
So... But yeah, we should probably stop like complaining about like places and being xenophobes.
Yeah, what are we supposed to be talking about? Video games and stuff.
Video games
and stuff. Yeah.
We did finally play some 8th edition 40k.
Oh, excellent. Great.
It was really good. I liked the part where there were cars bumping the ball into the goal.
That was in fact a different event that happened.
Okay, I like the part where you have sanity effects and you've got to like go through these dungeons.
Okay, that's Darkest Dungeon. That's what you've been playing.
Okay, I liked it when you climbed the ladder and then the theme tune started
That's
playing.
Metal Gear Solid 3. That's your favourite game.
I liked it in the part where that like one of the evil guy killed one of your party members and she's actually got like the most rare materia in her
That's
hair.
Final Fantasy 7. That's my favourite game.
Well done for all of these, like, all of these things, by the way. I think if I was trying to go with that joke, I'd just instantly forget all games.
Oh, dude, I've been at this a while now, and plus that's just how my brain works. My next one was going to be, I like it where you build build all the blocks and then you set it on fire and you can go to hell, which was going to be Minecraft.
Yeah.
Talk 8th edition.
8th edition, yeah.
I genuinely want to know, so stop being funny and just be informative.
Okay, you have no idea what you've just asked of me. I can't do that. I like the part where there were dinosaurs in the woods.
That was technically true.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, we've...
What are the rules, though?
Well, we've played one game together, and I've played a game over Tabletop Simulator with someone else as well. So I've played 2 games, and you've played 1. Funnily enough, same matchup of Space Wolves versus Orcs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's interesting of what they've done. So obviously the rules have been completely overhauled for every single faction because mostly because things like movement values have been added for everything, and
because they wanted to sell a book with rules the month before they release another book with the same rules.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of, that's kind of like.
Yeah.
If it was going to be many months before they released the actual codexes, that'd be one thing. But since it's like a month before the first ones, they should have just done what they did in 3rd edition, and when they overhauled the rules, just included the rules for everything with the main rulebook, because it's kind of shitty to expect people to pay for
because they weren't that much, were they? Like
they were £15
so
for an index, which contains like the rules for like
which is about average.
It contains that's vastly lower than codexes.
Yeah.
I can't remember because the last one I bought was fucking years and years and years and years ago.
Yeah, that's like half the price of some of the codex.
Shit. Okay, yeah. I'm just like I said, I've just been out the game. I'm looking at my Space Wolf codex there. It's like,
but yeah, I mean they were like relatively good value, containing rules for like 6 armies or something.
Yeah,
in each
but then
of
the
these
codexes
indexes
are coming out,
and thus invalidating them. So
what the fuck? Games Workshop. The fuck, dude?
In fairness, they even though that's kind of shitty, they have done a couple of things that are actually pretty good when it comes to terms of value, like propositions. Like if you're interested in getting some Primaris Marines, you can get like a pack of 3 of them for a tenner, and they are relatively big and detailed.
I don't like, because what are they called? I can never remember the name of them. They're not Interceptors.
What, the Reavers?
No, the basically the jump pack Primaris Marines.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, I can't remember them.
Is it Incestors?
Jumpy Longmens.
Jumpy Longmens, thank you. And did you just say Incestors?
Incestors. No, Incestors, it is. It's not. It's in one. I think one of them are called Incestors, and it's.
You gotta be careful how you say that. But yeah, the Jumpy Longmens.
Yeah.
They because I had a look at them. We went to our local games workshop, and like I picked one up, and he just kind of exploded off of his stand, and I was like, "The fuck, dude!" He just like they're so fiddly. Or maybe I just kind of like pimp smacked it off the table and was like, "Look how bad these are."
The connection to the stand is very, very slight, and I can see them breaking being an issue.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. I mean, I don't like those models particularly, because I think they're a bit bleh.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but yeah, we actually went to a Games Workshop and had a look at the Dark Imperium set, like in person, and it does look a lot better than in pictures, because I wasn't sold on basically any of it.
Yeah, well, like look at the Storm Raven, you were like, "Oh, it's terrible," and we saw it in person, we're like, "Actually, this is really cool."
Yeah, Storm Raven was the exact same thing.
Beautiful
pictures of it, I hated it, but then I saw it in person, I'm like, actually, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've been doing a thing where you get the big box set that I think is like £95. So it's quite expensive, but you do get a lot of shit in it. But what they've started doing now is there's a couple of smaller versions of it. One's 50 and one's 25 that comes with the rules and a basic small set of models to play with. So like £25 for an intro to a game.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Isn't that bad?
It's better than 95. I mean, what is this with Games Workshop doing things that aren't brain dead anymore? They're being a bit more reasonable.
A few years back, I think there was a bit of a restructuring internally of them.
It should have been a good fucking smacking around the head.
I mean, they still do some stuff that's weird, like Primaris, I think it's Captain and Librarian are like over £20, and it's just a single fucking model.
Ooh,
you can literally buy squads. You could buy, you could buy 6 regular Primaris Marines for the price of one Captain one, and the Captain one looks cool,
Just
but not that much better.
Paint one up differently. Like if you're so inclined, green stuff it. Just do anything.
Yeah,
fucking bits sight it.
I mean, they are nice models. These two really expensive ones.
That's what really drives me nuts. I'm not kind of diminishing the quality of the product here. It's just I feel that £20 for a Captain, fuck off.
Yeah, it's too much for a single model.
It's too much. If it was like...
The thing is, it's not even in line with the pricing of other models. Like, there's even some, like, Finecast stuff that's cheaper than that, and that's the same, that equivalent size, and it's like... Guys...
I think maybe, like, Games Workshop have always been very brain dead when it comes to just business and pricing and completely misunderstanding what the people who consume their stuff want. They don't... Where are the art prints? Where are the T-shirts? Where's all this gear that they could be making money on?
Yeah,
fucking nowhere. Like this. Let's charge fucking £20 for one Captain model. They've still got a long way to go in the way that they are still making fucking stupid decisions. But yeah, just in the past year or so, they've made a couple of good decisions.
Yeah, well, like I say, these little kits, like, obviously you don't get that many models in the £25 one, but honestly, like, to get...
For a taster, I think that's pretty good.
It doesn't come with the full-size rulebook, it comes with the smaller version of it. But
that's fine.
if you don't know...
Yeah,
if you don't know if you want to get into 40k, then spending £95 is just way too much.
That's just piss poor financial responsibility.
But £25 for something that's is a luxury at the end of the day, that's totally more acceptable. And it's like I appreciate those kind of things, and especially like say a kid is like trying to convince their mum like
I want to have the Space Marines, mummy. No, Timmy, they cost £95. Fuck's sake, you don't even know if you'll like it.
But there's this one for £25. Maybe I could get that one for my birthday or something.
Okay, because that's reasonable.
Yeah, and
I think that's so much more accessible to a lot of people as well.
Because I think that's one of the problems is that things like 40k can be a little bit incomprehensible to outside people, inaccessible because it's just so expensive to even get near. And at least in recent editions, because I think it was I think from maybe it was 4th edition onwards. I know it wasn't in 3rd. Like, the base box set has actually given you functional armies that you could actually use. Because, like, the 3rd edition box set just came with, like, 20 Dark Eldar warriors, a tactical squad, and a land speeder. And it's like, neither of those were functional armies back then. You couldn't run those as an army on its own. You had to buy extra models to legally run them.
I mean, what was the one I got? Because I was like, when I got into it, I didn't have an army. Was
the
it
one
Black
we,
Reach?
yeah, Black Reach, which was the fifth
That's the one
edition
we
box
got.
set.
That's the one we got.
And those did have two functional armies in them.
Those did, and I remember
Oh,
being
actually,
quite
no, they
impressed.
didn't.
Wait.
They didn't because it didn't have two troops choices for
Shit,
your
yeah.
Space Wolves.
It was close.
Yeah, it had a tactical squad, a Terminator squad, a Dreadnought, and a Captain.
Yeah.
So it didn't technically have a legal thing. You did need one of the tactical squads, unless there was two tactical squads in it, and I'm just forgetting.
Honestly, it was so long ago, and the models were, well, they weren't standard. They were just kind of like snap fit.
Yeah, they were monopose, but they were
Yeah.
they were the same monopose ones that were in the previous one, actually.
Yeah. But no, like the newer one, what is it?
Dark Imperium.
Dark Imperium. That looks to be pretty good.
Yeah.
That looks to be pretty reasonable.
We are looking to pick it up soon, actually.
Yes.
But anyway, it's not complaining about Games Workshop as a company.
Yeah. I will say 8th edition, I really like what they do with the rules. They are a lot more streamlined.
Oh, cool.
It really fucked me over because you know how I like my walkers.
Yeah.
So I marched Luca, my prized venerable Space Wolf Dreadnought.
This fucking fancy four-year-old model.
Beautiful fucking model. That's my favourite thing in my whole army. I love him so much. Stamped him into a squad of orcs. Now, anyone who's played and knows the 8th edition is laughing at me because he got fucking wrecked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did.
Like,
he
they're
really
meant to
got
mow.
completely smashed.
Orcs are exactly the same. There's things that dreadnoughts are meant to like just completely mow down, right? Lore-wise, not
You see,
They used to. Not like they used to, though.
Yeah. You see, the big change. One of the big changes is that vehicles now have a stat line that is just a booster, a more powerful version of a regular unit stat line. So it means that you can like on paper, it would be very hard, but you could have a bunch of grots with no other weapon attached to them or anything. Take down a Land Raider.
I mean, I actually do kind of like that, as much as I complain about Luca getting smacked, but it's like... Because usually when we used to play in the old games, I'd march Luca into the middle of your orcs and they'd be like, well, I can't do anything.
Yeah, unless I took stick bombs with them.
Yeah.
And if the knob with the power claw got killed, then I don't.
Yeah, it was
then
just
there's
like,
nothing I can
well,
do about
I
Dreadnought.
literally can't do anything to hurt it. Which, although doing that to someone is fun, it's not fun for the person on the receiving end, and that's not very fair.
Well,
so even if
likewise-
it's really difficult, I like the fact that there is at least a chance to do something.
And likewise, if you use your Land Raider as orcs playing like 5th and 6th edition, orcs didn't really have much of an answer. They had very little that had a significant enough strength to have a chance to actually do much damage to a Land
'cause you
Raider.
just had
exactly.
like missile launcher things or rocket launchers, which are strength 8, and against armor 14, that was you could only could you only glance it 14?
Yeah, I could only
can't
glance it.
Yeah.
I could only so I had to glance it to death with rockets, and
Yeah.
even then, I'm firing with orc rockets that hit on a 5+.
Yeah,
so
so good luck with that.
So
Just kind of
yeah.
just come in and drive my Land
So
Raider
basically, I
all
have
over
to
you.
to take down a Land Raider. You had to focus your entire army on it, or use zap guns could do it, but they were unreliable.
Yeah.
Shock attack guns could do it, but they were even more unreliable.
Mm-hmm.
And the only consistent thing, and this is what was used in tournament armies, was a death roller on battle wagons. That was the only good way of taking them down, because it's not orcs didn't even have melter weapons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like Land Raiders were just impossible, and I think that this allows that to balance out, because
I think so.
what it's kind of done is, because even like a truck, like an orc truck, which previously could be killed by one shot from a bolter if you were unlucky.
Yeah.
Now they actually are like weaker vehicles are more survivable. Stronger vehicles are still take ages to kill, but they are killable by weaker weapons. So it sort of balances it out.
I do like it. I do. I really do. I mean, yeah, I was in for a rude awakening, but it's fine.
Also, any vehicle can now get into close combat. So I like charging my buggies at people.
You charged my Rune Priest and then got into a fist fight in your buggy.
Yeah.
And then, because I'm not sure if this is right, but it felt, from the rules at least, that you could just disengage in close quarters anytime you wanted. So my Rune Priest just walked away.
I think when we did that first game, we just were really misunderstanding
I think
the way
we must have
combat
done.
worked. Because it's...
But I just like the idea of this Rune Priest just going, I'm out, and then a buggy being like, you fucker, and then driving all the way round to him to try and fuck him up again.
Like I say, I've been meaning to go through the close combat rules because they're a bit vague in areas, and I need to read through the FAQ. Also, it might just be mixing up the old rules because previously vehicles could disengage from close combat whenever they wanted. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, there's a change to leadership as well.
Okay.
In the way that what was it? You had to, because my guys had to take a leadership test because the whole "they shall know no fear" rule of Space Marines don't retreat; they just they fall back and regroup.
Yeah.
That's not really a thing anymore.
Okay.
Because falling back isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah. So what you do is you roll, and if you fail, one of your guys just fucks off.
Oh, okay.
Which I think it's especially as a Space Marine player, that is another thing that was kind of a bit unfair. It's just I'm fine. They'll just fall back a little because you roll to see how far they fell back, and then they'd fall back that far.
Yeah, and they shall know no fear just means that you can re-roll. That's all that means now.
Yeah, so it's I think that's so much more sensible.
It also means that fallback rules don't take up 4 pages in the rulebook anymore. It's literally a paragraph.
Yeah, okay.
And I kind of like that because morale was always one of those things that it was very prone to people metagaming it a bit, of really finding ways to destroy squads by surrounding them and stuff, which always kind of felt a bit it's totally legal. I'm not gonna, especially in a tournament setting, I'm not going to call anyone out for using it.
Yeah, this is the thing. I when I'm talking about playing, I'm never referring to tournament play because I don't want to tournament play. I'm not interested in pure crunch. I'm interested in just having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So So I don't want to min max to the extent where I'm just well, I've got you surrounded, so fuck you.
Yeah. But it's but yeah, with the little bits of changes here and there, I'm still not 100% used to it. I have fought some Primaris Marines now.
Oh yeah. How did that go? Because they've got 2 wounds, don't they?
They have 2 wounds, and I think they have an extra attack, and they're a little.
And they've got bigger dicks or something.
Yeah, basically, and their guns are longer range.
That's what I just said.
Well, yeah. But,
oh my god, I've brought up Space Marine dicks again. I'm so sorry, listeners. I don't even know I'm doing it. Okay. Primaris Marines, 2 wounds.
Yeah, I've fought 1 squad of them. Probably not the best introduction to them, because what happened was I charged them with I charged at them with a truck full of boys. The boys dismounted, charged the Primaris Marines, who whiffed their Overwatch, because you just get Overwatch by default now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just proceeded to murder them in a couple of turns because they don't have any, they didn't have any specialists close combat or anything.
Aww,
so
poor puppies.
Yeah, they just got utterly murdered. So I don't know. It almost feels like Primaris Marines. They feel a bit over, they're just a really expensive version of regular Marines, and you can sort of deal with them in the same way, and they don't have quite the functionality that, say, a tactical squad does.
Yeah.
But that's only my first game. Maybe I'll play them again in another one, and they'll turn out to be this versatile Uber unit that I'll be utterly annoyed anytime someone puts in. Yeah. But yeah,
okay.
Overall, I am liking 8th from what I.
Any other big changes?
There's
a lot of little ones.
Yeah. No initiative.
Yeah, no initiative.
So you don't go. You go in the order of who are charged.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes more sense, but it's still kind of out of the ordinary for me, so it's a bit weird.
Well, my last question on this is: you said you played on a tabletop simulator.
Yes.
How'd that go?
It took a very long time to play a 750-point game.
Is that because you weren't sure on the rules, or is that because of the actual interface?
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Okay.
It takes a bit to get used to Tabletop Simulator, because it's not the most elegant system at times.
Yeah. Well, it tries to do everything, doesn't it? So I guess that's going to have downsides, as well as the upside of being able to play anything on it.
Yeah, sometimes, some minor things, we got a map that had buildings on it, but some of the buildings had really big hitboxes on them. So you try and put down an orc next to the building, but actually they'd be 20 feet above the building, standing on the hitbox.
Okay. Cheeky little orcsies.
And you just have to kind of find, because people have uploaded models from Dawn of War and things like that.
Most of it is just mods.
Yeah, it's all third party.
It's all third party stuff. So.
But it does work. It does work. Okay. It just takes a little bit of.
I'd be totally keen to give you a game.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. I don't have Tabletop Simulator, but I don't think it's much, is it?
I think it's
like £6 or something.
I think it's 15 quid at full price.
Oh, okay. Because we got it on like sale.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for it being on sale.
Yeah. But the other half of that was just getting used to the rules and stuff. So it takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
So we uploaded a video onto Twitter that was like a sped up,
like a time lapse.
of us playing just a small scale game like on our little table.
Okay. Oh, cool! I didn't see that.
Yeah, just kind of sped up, just to kind of say, basically kind of go. Yeah, we have played 8th edition, and we're figuring out how to record them for. For maybe doing some stuff on the channel, later on, and just figuring out what's best for us, how to do it,
Yeah.
Working out the nuances.
Yeah. But so I am enjoying 8th edition. I understand why some people don't like some of the changes, but I also think that after 4 editions of the game where the core rules haven't changed. Like, where you could use a 3rd edition codex completely fine with later editions,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that there were things changed in, like, 7th in regards to vehicles and stuff. Like, there were some big changes happened, but, like, the core rules of characters didn't really change for such a long time. Like, I think it was really due a bit of a shake-up, and my biggest complaint with 6th and 7th was that I just felt that they added complexity where it wasn't necessary. So there's places where they could have had a bit more nuance, they didn't, and this sort of has streamlined a lot, and overall I think it's a positive.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm probably gonna.
That's genuinely great to hear, because as much as we bitch about Games Workshop sometimes,
and we do,
it's we wouldn't keep talking about it unless we genuinely liked what they do and the games and the setting and everything.
Oh yeah.
I like it when they get it right.
Yeah.
I also really now after, because the the way the indexes work, of course, you don't just get the rules for.
I think you mean indices.
Actually, codex and codices. There's no codexes. Index and indexes and indices. Both of those are correct. Actually.
Really.
Yes, because I looked it up, because I was making fun of Games Workshop, because I was like, duh, they changed it to indexes so they could say indexes, because codexes is not a word, codices is the correct plural, whereas they wanted to change it to index because they're derps. So I researched that joke. It was not a funny joke, or even a joke that meant anything, but I liked it.
But you did it.
I did it.
But the thing, because these indexes contain the rules for many different armies, it means you actually get to you're actually looking at the rules for armies that you probably never actually looked at before. So I was looking through the Sisters of Battle, and I got to Saint Celestine, and I'm just like,
she's a beast.
I'm like, I just want to use her now. She has Link's sword that shoots laser beams.
Nice.
She's amazing. Celestine's my favorite.
And just can come back to life, and every turn she's got 2 companions with her, and if they die, she can just bring them back every turn.
Yeah, she's insane, because we were I'm sure I was listening to an episode of Adeptus Podcastus, and Alexis was talking about using her, and just basically just slaughtering the board with her.
I know she has been in the FAQ.
She's been hotfixed, basically.
Yeah, they've cleared up some ambiguity about some of the stuff she could do.
Well, she had a buff or something, and they didn't say you couldn't use it on vehicles, so people were using it on vehicles and just walking through.
Yeah. But just her basic idea of just can just come back to life and bring her other things back to life, and having a fucking sword that she can shoot at people, that just amuses me too much. I'm just I need her now.
She is so cool.
It's one of those little things that pushes me ever closer to biting the bullet and trying to make a small Sisters of Battle army.
Oh god, you've wanted one of those for ages.
Yeah. But this is the thing, they need new fucking models.
They ain't ever getting new models.
They need new models.
The Celestine model is the only new model they're getting this decade.
And it was why don't you play Sisters? One fucking reason.
Because it costs I think it costs something stupid 50, 60 quid for a squad of the fucking things.
And they're all fucking terrible models.
Yeah, 2nd edition sculpts. So some of them are
awful.
Some of them are okay, but some of them are really bad.
It's just like, come on, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. And I hope
it's going to be a massive surprise. Like, hey guys, new system models, and they're amazing, and they're fine cast, and they're pretty.
I hope. Oh, I don't want it to be fine cast. Jesus, no.
Well, they're going to be if they ever release.
They will be finely cast out of nice, sensible plastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, to be to be fair, the most of the models they release now that are like new and fancy tend to actually be just made out of plastic now.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of like, you remember the old forum game Corrupt a Wish?
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Corrupt a Wish was an old like forum game where you'd go, started off by going, I wish Half-Life 3 was released, and then the next person would go, granted, but it's an Xbox One exclusive. And then they go, okay. I wish that new system models would happen. And the next person would go, granted, but they're all fine cast.
Yeah.
So it's basically like that.
Yeah. I mean, it also, in fairness, Finecast did get better over time.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly just... I think these days it's mostly relegated to the recasts of the old metal stuff. Like the current Sisters line is, I think, all Finecast now.
Oh, God.
But
it begins.
But yeah, if they made new ones, they would probably be just a full plastic, like even the character models, because they've got really good at these the very high detail plastic sculpts now.
Yeah, no, definitely they have.
But then when they release character ones using these fancy new sculpts, they're the ones that are like £25 for a single fucking plastic dude.
Which is fuck off Games Workshop time.
Which is getting into Forge World prices, and you're like,
Yep. Who do you think the next Primarch model's going to be?
I don't know, because like narratively speaking, like I mean, a bunch of them are dead.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we've had.
Well, that didn't stop Gilliman.
Oh yeah,
he got better.
So obviously we've got Gilliman, and I guess you can say we've got Magnus, because there's his whole demon Primarch form.
I just want to swing off those horny nipples of his. They are so big. That sounds so dodgy.
It's it'll probably be one of the ones that disappeared into the warp, like Russ or Khan disappeared into the warp as well, I believe.
I believe you.
I'm not going to shout because I don't want to hurt your ears, but pretend I'm shouting right now.
Okay.
Khan. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretend I'm shouting. Khan. Okay.
Or Vulcan, like no one really knows what happened to Vulcan.
Vulcan lives, he dies, he lives again.
But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them that even if they are dead, question mark, that it's a bit up in the air of how dead they are.
Well, I mean, Gilliman.
Yeah. Like the lion as well.
Oh, he's just mostly dead.
Actually, the lion wouldn't surprise me if he's the next one they brought back, because if I remember rightly, isn't he just lying...
lying around?
He's lying around. Fucking tosser.
Fucking yeah.
Drama, you have to give me the biggest fucking high five next time you're in England. Oh my god.
Anyway.
Yep.
It would not surprise me if the lion was the next one, considering that he's, as far as I'm aware, he's just like in a coma in the rock. So, yes, he's lying around. Yes.
Thank you.
Wouldn't surprise me if he's the next one to come back. So I think he's one of the easier ones to just kind of resurrect.
I'd like a model of him with his hair up.
What, in a man bun?
No, not in a fucking man bun. Oh my god.
What else do you mean by having his hair up?
You mean in a ponytail?
Okay.
Because, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I just think it looks really cool. Like, yeah, like, long hair is great. But put it in a ponytail and you're like, now it's business time.
Okay.
And he's going to stop lying around.
Okay.
He's going to put his hair in a ponytail and fuck shit up.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm just saying, it's like, because, like, the whole hair everywhere is kind of a bit...
Yeah, but it plays into like the old school,
flowing. I know.
Like the old fantasy novels with like Conan on the front with his hair everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the sort of idea you get with a lot of the Primarchs. These
you're not wrong.
Yeah, godlike warriors.
But I mean, I like Russ's because it's kind of like I always kind of go, yeah, his hair is a bit up. He's like
got it plaited a bit.
He's got plaited a bit, which I'm like, you know what, that's really nice.
I could see them totally bringing Russ back as well. Although I don't think they could, but I don't think they are. Not first, not after Gilliman anyway. I think they'd bring back another loyalist that's a bit more...
Careful now.
Is a bit more, like, plays ball. I think Russ would just introduce too much
Well, I mean, like,
strife.
not only would he introduce strife with that, like, with just the other Primarchs in general, like, Logan Grimnar, because Russ is an idiot.
Oh, Russ is
He's
fucking
just a twat.
dick.
He's a bit of a twadge, isn't he?
He is a bit of a twadge. Lehman Russ is a twadge.
Yes, Lehman Russ is a twadge. But, like, Grimnar's, like, the wolves have never been in, like, better paws, better hands than his. So it's like, I just think it would be really cool to kind of, just all of the wolves just being like, shit, who are we loyal to? Because, I mean, like, Grimnar's, like, company are, like, fiercely loyal to him.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, I don't think they would do that, because, I mean,
It would be fun.
I know, because they do, with the exception of Angron,
Everyone loves Angron.
yeah, with the exception of Angron, all of the Marines kind of view Primarchs like
Awe-inspiring,
like this,
amazing.
they have this kind of aura that they
Yeah.
can't resist. Angron, the exception. Everyone thinks Angron is a dickhead. Even his own legion think he's a dickhead.
I just think he's a cannibalistic butt munch, and I feel bad for him.
Angron's eating people again.
But yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, it would be interesting to see that, whether it would happen or not.
Yeah.
But I just want, like, Lehman Russ to get, like, a kick up the ass or something.
Actually, a small point as well. One of the more interesting things about 8th is that they have moved the story on a couple of 100 years.
I'm so glad.
Stuff's happened.
Some apocalyptic shit's gone down, and it's so rad.
Yeah, basically a warp storm like covered most of the galaxy, rendering most of the Imperium dark, incapable of travel or communication with each other as Cadia fell. And now Chaos can attack from basically anywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty
They're not
cool.
contained anymore, and the whole sort of purpose of 8th story is, I think it's the Indomitus Crusade, which is basically the crusade to retake the Imperium, because so much of it is still basically they don't know what's happened to it. Like, multiple Space Marine chapters are fucked.
Well, I mean, like, multiple Space Marine homeworlds have just been fucking disintegrated.
Yeah.
Like, Magnus and fucking... Oh, who else is it? Like, Magnus and some other, like, Demon Primarch just pop up on a planet and just fucking...
Oh yeah, it's like the Sky Sentinels
Yeah,
just got
they're just
completely...
gone.
I think they were completely destroyed by Magnus and the Thousand Suns.
Yeah, they're just... Sky Sentinels, you know, that army that everyone collects. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're fucking gone. And it's like... I feel bad for any, like, hipster out there who's running a Sky Sentinel army.
Because now they're
they're
just
like,
not there anymore.
shit.
Yeah, Games Workshop broke in night and just stole their army off them. These don't exist anymore. Nope.
And they're like, they wake up, well, where are my Sky Sentinels? And then they read the lore and they're like, damn you!
Yeah, but yeah, the actual there's a lot of little touches, like, you know, Baal got really fucked up, and
Baal
like
got wrecked.
all of the Blood Angels successor chapters came to help, came in to help
Even
them
like
with
some of the traitor ones.
yeah,
wasn't it?
even the ones like that are considered traitors, like the Knights of Blood.
Yeah.
With the exception of the Lamenters, they didn't show up. That's possibly because they were busy getting their ass kicked the other
Yeah,
side
I
of the
was
galaxy.
literally about to say they're off somewhere crying because everyone's always really mean to them.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
And like apparently like 9 chapter masters from the Blood Angel successors are dead because of that fight, until Gilliman showed up and waved his dick around it.
Oh, he swung that dick pretty heroically.
Yeah. There's like stories, I think it's on Armageddon, like orcs and humans who've been fighting there for fucking, well, I don't know if it's centuries or decades at this point.
A while.
The Third War for Armageddon, how long ago that happened, like canonically, but yeah, they've been fighting non-stop, and then demons were showing up to the point that orcs and Imperial forces were fighting side by side at points because of how intense the demon incursion on Armageddon is.
Whoa.
Are you alright there?
Yeah, I thought of a pun.
Okay.
Right.
The human and orcs forces were like, Armageddon out of here.
Okay, on that note, this has been quite a long podcast for saying we have nothing to talk about.
Can I just ask one quick question?
Yeah.
What are the space communists doing? How are my towers? Any progress in their story, or are they just still towering it up?
Apparently they're just shit in this edition.
Oh yeah, I've heard they're not very good in this edition at
Yeah.
all. But
Sorry, dude. You haven't had a lucky run.
But from what I understand, they're kind of getting along the same kind of deal.
Just chilling out with no
I haven't
goals.
specifically read about what's going on with them yet, so
Because they've only been around for a few thousand years. So like a few hundred years is quite a big.
oh yeah. Well, I mean they've had a lot of big new fancy suits since you last
Yeah.
played them, so
Yeah, that's true.
their tech has been increasing at quite a spectacular pace, as is sort of their deal.
Yeah.
I'm actually painting up some tail right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The ones we got in the Kill Team box set.
Yeah, I'm just like fancy. I was like, I'll give him a red paint scheme, even though that's not really a thing. I'm just like, I don't
Actually,
give a fuck.
I did finally finish, like the assembly and base coating of the rest of the Kill Team.
Nice.
So, I will. I've been meaning, because I basically painted them individually. I've been not getting round to it, so I'm going to try and start batch painting some of these things
Yeah.
to try and alleviate me not painting the Kill Team.
Yeah, no,
So-
that's fair. But yeah, we probably should get off because it's
Yeah.
another very long one where we don't talk about fucking anything. So
It's fine. We'll probably look back and go, "There's like, wow, that 20-minute segment. We just need to axe that. That was terrible."
yeah, probably.
So it's probably okay. It'll probably, like, after we axe all the chaff, it'll be like, this podcast was 20 minutes long. Shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine. We never said that it had to be a specific time.
And we never said it was any good.
No. But we've never made that guarantee about anything we're involved in. So
Exactly. So no one can get mad at us if it isn't good.
that's fair. That's fair. So yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening.
Bye.